Hello, I'm Alice. This is Alice's reading room. Today we're reading Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. This beloved storybook was written over 50 years ago, and children today still enjoy this story. It's one of my favourites. Where the Wild Things Are. Story and Pictures by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. Oh, here he is, scaring the dog. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. Here he is. He's been sent to his room without any dinner. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. Here are the big tall trees. And grew. Oh, it's getting more like a forest. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. His room has really turned into a forest. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. Off he goes on his boat, and it has his name on it, Max. In and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. Ooh, this looks like a wild thing. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. Oh, can you show me your terrible claws? Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. Here's Max staring into the yellow eyes of all the wild things, and they do look frightened. And made him king of all the wild things. Here he is, with a crown on his head. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." Max and the wild things are having their wild rumpus. They're dancing in the moonlight. Here's the moon up here, and here are all the wild things, and Max, the king of the wild things. And here they are, swinging on all the trees in the forest. It looks like they're having lots of fun. And here's Max, the king of the wild things, riding on the shoulders of one of the big wild things. Have you ever ridden on the shoulders of one of your mums or dads? "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely, and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. I wonder where he wanted to be. Then, all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said no. The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. Off he goes. He's leaving and he's waving goodbye. And sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day. Back he goes. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. Here it is, on the little table. And it was still hot. I hope you enjoyed Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. In this story, Max used his imagination to pretend his room was a forest, and he played with all the wild things. Have you ever used your imagination to turn your room into something amazing? Thank you for visiting Alice's Reading Room. Please join me again soon for more of your favourite stories.